No, let's not. Let's go ahead and bring on Anthony. Anthony from Bucs On Deck. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? Another fantastic morning here.
Very fantastic.
Yeah,
100%.
Very fantastic. Love having you on right before the draft, right after some latest prospect updates get put out there. I feel like it's a good week again.
Yeah, it's a good week, especially for a certain affiliate. There's a certain affiliate that's kind of on fire right now. A lot of good players right now, especially notable after they lost their best player in the first half. So
Let's talk. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, we can talk about the fun stuff, or we can talk about the stuff that's going to make Jim roll his eyes here.
Hey,
that is the fun stuff. Oh,
That's the fun stuff.
Let's start there.
Okay. Well, I would say Greensboro's on fire right now. They've won 9 of the last 10. They've already built like a 4-game lead in the South Atlantic League for the second half. In 15 games, they have a plus 59 run differential right now. So they're just destroying everyone right now. We'll go with the hitters because it's two guys from Greensboro lighting up. Termarr Johnson had a really good week this past week. 10 hits, 2 home runs, a double, walked 7 times, struck out 6 times. But I mean, you're walking that much, and he pieces it. I kind of just feel like strikeouts are just going to be part of his game at this point. But like, if you can get weeks like this, you'll take him every time. And if he's walking the amount of times that he's walking, like you can live with it pretty well. And he stole a couple bases too. So just all around a very, very solid week from him. One of the better that I've seen from him this season.
Yeah, and power was all there. The strikeouts weren't out of hand either. He was still, sub 20%. 2 homers, 7 walks. I think as long as he's still walking, like I said, if he's still walking that much and hitting for power, you can live with the strikeout numbers there. But yeah, another really good week for him. He's been looking a lot better lately. He got taken off of Baseball America's Top 100 list in the latest update. So, there was that, and he responded to that news with a really big week. Yeah. So,
and I took it personally.
Yeah, that's
basically.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
But you look at the numbers right now, just kind of as a season for a 20-year-old, and like, you're pretty pleased with where he's sitting.
Yeah, no, I'll take that. Yeah. I'll take it every day of the week. I mean, there's still some, like, there'll be a lot of games to where it's like one of the games, like, he went up and he swung at a couple of like really bad pitches in the first in his first at bat, and you're kind of just like, it looks like it's gonna be one of those days, and then he slapped a baseball the other way the next time up, and he made some pretty good contact the next time, and I think that was the game he hit one of the home runs, and it just kept getting better and better the more times he came up to the plate, and it's like, okay, well, looking at it from a singular game, that's kind of exactly what you want to see. Okay, he went up there, failed pretty badly, adjusted, and made the proper adjustments you want to kind of see. I've always felt like the whole top 100 things, like a whole long conversation kind of thing that you can drag out. I can see why they did it, and to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's a second base hit only guy. He's going to have to hit to kind of move up the ladder. So those guys they have the tendency to kind of have those kind of drops and stuff, especially if they're not hitting, especially if he's not making like solid contact, like it feels like he was struggling to make. But it does feel like he's slowly been making more consistent contact. So like now it's just kind of like, okay, now he's finally starting to square everything up, and now we're starting to see the power come out a lot more from him. So
yeah, last 10 games, 17 hits. Over 200 weighted runs created plus last 10 games. Now, albeit just 10 games, right? But like, I feel like there's a lot of comparisons. It's not that they're the same type of player, but just comparisons like coming out into the draft that the hit total was excellent. and they came into the Pirates system, and that hit tool just kind of disappeared. But like Nick Gonzalez, we had a lot of the same conversations about like, where's this hit tool coming? You know, where's it at? And then I felt with Nick Gonzalez every year is always the same thing. It was like, at the end of April, early May, you're kind of questioning like, oh, maybe Nick Gonzalez ain't that guy. And then about this time of the year, you're saying, oh, okay, he's back. And I feel like Termarr's kind of done it. Like he starts off the year kind of slow, and then it all starts coming together a little bit. Is that how you're kind of feeling this? Like, is this maybe just like, I mean, because Nick Gonzalez is up now and he's performing, and it's like, okay, maybe Nick Gonzalez ain't this bad player as we all thought he was. I mean, is this kind of like the Nick Gonzalez high school version?
I think what this says, I mean, it's fairly close with that, but what it also tells you is that grading hit tools out of high school hitters is probably very useless. And
okay,
because you don't know. I mean, the level of competition, you never know what they're playing against, and you never know how. I mean, you almost rarely know how college hitters are going to react once they hit pro ball, let alone prep players. So great. He was given kind of the short end of the stick there by the comparisons that he was getting. So like we got to remember that he's still a high school kid, still going to take some time to adjust. They fast tracked him pretty quickly. I mean, he was still 18, 19 when he I think he had just turned barely 19 when they moved him up to high A the first time. And so like they've been fast tracking him pretty quickly. And yeah, I mean, the contact rates are starting to slowly tread up, and the chase rates have always been really good. It's just a matter of finding the contact inside the zone, and that's what he's doing right now. So
good stuff. Yeah. All right.
Who
else?
Give it to him. Give it to him, Murphy.
Give it to him.
Next guy.
Greensboro middle infielder is having quite the week because Mitch Jebb followed it up, hit another 2 home runs.
Bye, Jim.
Bye. Hit another 2 home runs, had a triple, 8 walks to 4 strikeouts, scored 9 runs, 8 stolen bases. Like every time he got on base, he was just gone. I think he had like one game where he had like 2 or 3 stolen bases in the game. I think I mentioned it in your guys' Discord earlier. It's hard overall to maybe get too excited about him because of the power, but like he's a fun player to watch whenever like he's putting the ball in play, because like he'll slap a baseball the other way and hustle his way for a double if like the outfielder kind of takes his time to get there. Even if he's stuck even if it's just a single, like you can almost guarantee he'll find his way to second with a stolen base. Like he's a fun player to watch when he's making contact, and he's been making better contact this last month or so.
I think the thing that stands out to me, you mentioned him just kind of being a fun player to watch. You know, the stolen base numbers are great. 24 stolen bases out of 27 attempts. You know, he's walking quite a bit right now. The runs scored. I mean, 68 games played and 50 runs scored, and he is racking up the runs scored here in the last couple of weeks. I think just since, you know, if I'm looking at these numbers here, right? So since June 21st is kind of when this like hot streak started for him. Since June 21st, he scored 23 runs in 13 games. He scored multiple runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in 13 games. So, yeah, like he's getting on base, and when he gets on base, he gets around the bases.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
12 steals too during that time frame. So, like, yeah.
He gets on first. You just know he's going for second, and he hasn't really been stopped. Like the league has to know it at this point, and there's not much you can do about it. So
right, yeah. Like again, it's small sample, right? But since that time frame, it's 13 games. But like in 13 games, he has 17 hits and 18 walks.
Yes,
like this guy's getting on base and right, like you discussed, like the power, like, is the power going to be there? Probably not, but it's like manufactured power. I mean, he turns a single into a double, so he doesn't have to hit for a double. He just gets to second base. Just amazing. Yeah, like I said, just amazing. And the fact that Jim hates him, and I'm putting words
I never
in your
said
mouth.
I
You
hate him.
No.
I
I'm
don't
putting the words in your
hate
mouth.
Mitch
You hate
Jeb.
him. You
No,
hate
I
I
don't
think
hate.
it's the profile's a rough one to get behind at times because it's like, so like you see like Stephen Kwan and Luis Arraez, they're doing like really good with like the low exit velocity, but they're like at the top, and you don't see that often, and even like their top end probably won't last that long because of that. And but then like I started also looking at some other like I did a video breakdown for Jeb last week on the site, and you look at some of the other guys, like Adam Frazier was a guy who never hit the ball too hard. Like there are a lot of guys to do it, that they find a nice little like bench utility role for like a couple year span kind of thing. So like he's not a guy that if he makes it all the way up, it's probably going to have a long impact, but he can probably have some sort of impact with that kind of profile for like a very small window of time kind of thing. So
yeah.
Can that window of time be now?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Like, I don't dislike Mitch Jeb personally. I do not like.
You hated the pick. I'll be fair.
I still hate the pick. I think it's still a terrible pick. And I just don't have a lot of faith in people who can't hit for power and look like they're a left-handed version of like Hunter Pence up there with a weird stance. Just trying to slap the ball. Yeah, it's just
cleaned it up a little bit since last year. He's made some changes to it. It's not like overly big. It's still not like
it just doesn't look pretty.
Yeah, like but it's he's cleaned it a lot more since like last year and like early season.
Mm-hmm.
Stances in his open. Like he used to carry like his hands like right there at his chest. He has them up a little bit more, better position to kind of get through the zone a lot quicker. But yeah, it's still not the most most appealing looking.
Yeah, like usually lefties have like sweet looking swings. You like the way they look. When they connect, it's like, all right, that's a pretty swing. And you don't see a pretty swing out of Miss Jeb.
Yeah. But it works. Right now,
it works.
Sort of. It sort of works in high A. All right. What else we got? Let's shift to pitchers. Who had big weeks last week?
Well, I did. I was talking to Jim during the week, and I kind of mentioned that like I would hate to bring this guy up again because it'd probably make like this would be like 3 weeks in a row now.
I think it's 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you are whenever you pitch almost 8 full innings and you face the minimum because you were able to get a couple double plays, I think it's worth mentioning that Bubba Chandler had another incredible night. He didn't reach double-digit strikeouts again. He struck out 7 in 7 2/3, but only gave up 2 hits and didn't walk anybody again. And I think he finished like just short of 100 pitches right there, and so that's probably like 3 straight starts now that he's gone right near 100, which is 21 at Double A, a really good sign there. So
he's just been so good lately.
Yeah.
85, 98, 97. Last 3 starts, total pitches.
In his last 5 starts, he's 4-1 with a 1.91 ERA, 42 strikeouts, and 3 walks in 33 innings. Like he's just dominating these hitters right now. And this is now 3 weeks in a row where he's put up a really, really impressive start. And the fact that he was able to go into the 8th inning this past week and show the command that he has. I don't really know how Fangraphs does their, how Fangraphs has like the prospect power rankings and stuff, but Bubba Chandler is right now the ranked first over the last 21 days. in minor league power ranking. So like he's been the best pitcher in the minor leagues over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's rare that you see like double-digit strikeouts in the minors, just because most of them have such like a strict pitch count and stuff like that. So for him to not only have two, but to have two back to back like that, just kind of shows how. And then also to go as deep into games as he's shown at his age, at the level that he's at. It's just insane. And we all knew that like it was in there. Like he's shown flashes ever since he made his debut in Bradenton. Like okay, well you can see it. You just kind of got to put it all together. And I don't know. I mean, it's a month stretch and all that stuff, and we'll see like if you can close out the season at this high level. But like, man, it's must watch TV at this point now for him, because it's just so electric. Fastball into the eighth inning. Like his last pitch was a 97 mile an hour fastball that he blew past the hitter in the zone. So the velocity is still staying up deep into games. The breaking balls look so much better than it had previously. The changeup, I still feel the changeup hasn't even been great during this stretch, but it's still like easily his second best pitch.
Right.
So, I mean, and you think about it, like if it gets to a point where he has all three of his pitches clicking, like that's even more that you may be able to see out of him at that point.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective, so he was a 2021 draft pick. So had he gone to college, right? Had he gone to Clemson like he intended, he would be draft eligible this year, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious, where would you have Bubba Chandler? I mean, you've been paying attention to the draft and stuff, but if Bubba Chandler's development had occurred exactly the way it has right now, but at Clemson, where would Bubba Chandler be with Hagen Smith, Chase Burns, Trey Savage? Like, would his name would 100% be like named with those guys? I would think.
Yeah, definitely. That's an interesting too, because you have to think about it too. Mm-hmm. If he went to college, like he was going to college to be a two-way player and to play quarterback at Clemson. So there's a chance that he still had because the jump that he's made is because he's focused solely on pitching.
Right.
So you have to wonder, is he even at this level right now if he had gone to college? Because he's probably there's a case he probably goes to Clemson, does the football thing for a year, maybe drops it after the first or second year. There's a lot of you see a lot of players that are doing the two-way. They usually drop it heading into their draft year so they can focus solely on it. So this year, if he's at Clemson, this is probably the first year that he's focusing on baseball alone. Let alone he's probably still a two-way guy at this point.
Right.
So on arm upside and everything like that, yeah, he would absolutely be up there with the top guys. With the way he's pitching right now, he's shown there's an argument to be made that since Paul Skeens isn't in the minors, Bubba Chandler might have the best fastball in all of minor league baseball right now. From a velocity standpoint, the pitch shape and the break, the movement and all that stuff, it's very easy.
You've been talking about that since the offseason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The shape, it's incredible. The movement that he gets on it. I was listening to a podcast and they said that they've watched a couple games behind home plate on him, and you can actually hear it whistle and the spin on it whenever he throws it, and it's on point. It's the fastball is on a whole nother level. Yeah, but he's probably right there in the mix with Chase Burns and Hagen Smith right now. If he had focused solely on pitching and he's made the progress he's made this year, easily a top 10 pick probably.
Yeah, that's just it's cool to see, and I kind of wanted to say that just to be like, where's he at in his development? Like the fact that we drafted him, it was like, all right, this guy's gonna be a project.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a fast project. Like
The
he's a
opposite.
pitcher. Like he's a pitcher now, and you could, the rankings aren't going to tell you this right now, but you could 100% argue with somebody that he is the best right-handed pitching prospect in baseball. Like that is an argument that could be had with someone, and you could bring up very valid points.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially with the progress he's cleaned up the delivery a lot, which I think has a lot to do with the control. The breaking ball is taking leaps forward. Like I said, the changeup. You don't see many 20, 21-year-olds with a changeup that he has. So
yeah,
it could be. I could be very easily swayed from, like, if you put me in like a neutral perspective, very easily swayed that he's the best right-handed pitching prospect in baseball right now.
To double down on Jim's point here, that's what gets me most excited about him. When he was drafted, he was going to be the project. Like, listen, there's all kinds of talent here, but I think we even said it like almost word for word, like Pirate fans for once, like, be patient with this guy. He's going to take time. You're going to see struggles. You're going to allow it to happen. He needs to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have we really seen that? I mean, to understand what he was supposed to be, and because he was this two-way player and it's his first time focusing on baseball and such, and here we are in 2024 now, what he's doing, like I want to put here, like, is there a window? Is there a real possibility that he could make that Jared Jones move and potentially be, of course, there's more things pushing back on him to do that, but potentially be like in this rotation on opening day next year? Like, does he have that?
If he continues, like I think I've mentioned, I know I definitely mentioned within the last couple of weeks when we've been talking about him, I don't ever remember seeing Jared Jones get to the level that Bubba Chandler is at right now in Double-A. And like Jared Jones, he was always like really good, but like there'd always be like a start here or there to where it kind of like keep him from like blowing up. And like I said, he was dealing with like some injury stuff when he was in Altoona too. So like maybe we didn't ever saw like the best of him and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think there's a reason, if he keeps heading this direction, that like he isn't like in the mix somewhat for a rotation spot next year. Like you said, it's probably harder for him next year because there are going to be so many more rotation spots like spoken for.
Right.
You know, like they'll have a Oviedo back next year, and like you got like 4 guys right now and stuff. So it'll be a lot tougher, and like he'll probably just end up in AAA and stuff like that. But like I could very much easily see him go to spring training next year and have a couple outings to where it's like, oh wow, like maybe we need to make a spot for him earlier than we expected.
That's exciting. So again, and you're talking about 3 years in the minors for this project.
Yeah.
Crazy. Cool.
So,
all right, one more pitcher, Murphy. Who we got?
I was going to do someone different this time. Another guy out of Greensboro. Probably more of like a depth guy in the long run, but he's looked really solid as of late. Dominic Parachi, he was a later round draft pick in 2022. Pitched all year in Bradenton. Started this year in Greensboro. Has had a really good year in Greensboro. He's a little bit older for the level. He's 23 now. Spent a little bit of time in Double-A this year when they had some injury issues. Started off rough there. His last start in Double-A before he got sent back down to High A, it was 4 innings, a shutout with 4 Ks. Noah's a big Parachi guy.
Clearly.
But his last start went 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, only 2 hits and a walk. His last 3 games, he's allowed just 1 earned run in 17 innings. So I kind of mentioned on every Monday we do a 10 observations article on the site. Just kind of go through some stuff that we've kind of picked up and watched in the minors, and just watching Parachi, and like I'm not saying that he's like the next Barry Zito or something like that. But the way he pitches, like the delivery and like his approach, like pitching, he throws a lot of the elevated fastballs with like a big looping curveball to kind of tunnel off of that. Just reminds me a lot of him. I grew up like a really big Barry Zito fan. So like just 91, 92. I think he's got up into 93 a couple times with the fastball, but it plays really good up in the zone, especially with that big curveball that you have to kind of account for and stuff like that. Just we talk about there's a lot of guys in the minors that you kind of feel like you want to see get pushed up just to kind of see how they handle the next level. And we've seen a little bit of how he's handled Double-A. Like I said, it was a rough start at first, and he got a little bit better before he got sent back down. But I'd like to see him get another shot in Double-A just to kind of see. Like I said, probably a depth guy, but like he's pitching really good right now that you kind of want to see if there's more there, especially, you know, like the Pirates factor now with some of the pitching prospects.
Yeah, 2022 11th round pick, lefties, 23 years old, 6'4", so, you know, big projectable frame out of him. Yeah, I don't know much about this guy. So, yeah, but yeah, 1.74 ERA right now in Greensboro. It looks like he starts half the time. The other half he's coming out of the bullpen, but he's pitching, you know, 3-4 innings a piece. But yeah, I mean, so
they've had to do
far
some weird stuff with their rotation just because they've had like 7 guys that they've wanted to kind of get multiple innings. So they've had guys like bounce in and out of starts and a lot of piggybacking and stuff like that. So
yeah, but yeah, he's been very good for like June. So
just want to point out too, he's pitched 51.2 innings, 29 hits.
Yeah.
Guys don't hit off him at all.
Oh, in high A. Yeah. He's clearly dominating that high A level. Yeah. I think with Murphy here, where if you really want to see what this guy's got, you gotta probably push him to Double-A.
Yeah, and I mean the Pirates, especially in the lower levels, they've had a bunch of injuries and stuff like that. As far as when it comes to pitching, like half of the Bradenton rotation's still out, and I think they've kind of extended the Mike Burrows and Aaron Shortridge rehabs a little bit longer in Bradenton just because they need the pitching right now. They probably don't make it through the entire week there without them rehabbing there. So harder a little bit to move some guys around because you don't really have something to replace him. But he's probably, just because of his age and curiosity factor, you know, we talk about like Pirates able to, you know, do stuff with pitchers now. Maybe they found something there to do it, and he started to figure stuff out in Double-A before he got sent back down. So let's see what they can do.
And hey, he's a lefty. Lefties just kind of tend to hang around a little bit more because they're lefties. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we'll save it for another day, but I'm interested why Barry Zito was one of your favorite guys.
He was a lefty.
Okay.
I'm a lefty.
There it is.
And he was really good. And you know, this was during the Pirates weren't very good in those days, so I needed something to watch late night after watching the Pirates get beat up.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, good stuff. As always, we appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate the Mitch Jeb talk.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So we'll see you again next week. Of course, everyone check out Bucs On Deck. And of course, let everyone know where you can find him.
Bucs On Deck Substack. You can find me on Twitter at _Murphy88. We're going to have a lot of draft stuff this week coming out with the draft coming up. So be on the lookout for that. I've been watching hours and hours of videos the last couple of days trying to get ready. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that
for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Picking 9th is a lot different than picking first. So
it is.
You got to watch a lot
in
more
this draft. Yeah, especially in this draft. This draft has been miserable trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah, it seems realistically there's probably about 6 guys like that it could be.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
should be interesting. We're only 6 days away from that.
Yep, looking forward to it. So
cool.
Well,
Well, thanks for coming on, Murph.
No problem.
Appreciate it.